basically what we've got to be able to do is, like with all of the numbers we've done before, we've just got to be able to do multiple operations with fractions. Okay? So there's just a few things we want to go through because we can probably do it, but we want to talk about how efficient we can possibly be. Right? So let's have a look at this first one. Right guys, so first one, let's have a look. So we've got to do 3/10 multiplied by 2/9 multiplied by 5/7. Now the reason why we want to have a look at this is because what am I going to ask you to do first, Seb, apart from, pay attention. What would I ask you to do first? Simplify. Okay. So if you remember, when we simplify multiplication, we can simplify either number with either one or one. Right? So any numerator with any denominator. And it works if you've got 3 fractions or 4 or 5. So for instance, what could simplify with what at the moment? Sophie?
5 and 10.
5 and 10. So we can simplify the 5 with the 10 and that becomes 1 and a 2. Aaron? Now we can simplify the 2 and the 2, so that becomes a 1 and a 1. Sure? 3 and the 9 becomes 1 and 3. Okay? Nothing else. So now we've got 1 times 1 times 1 is
1. Technically, 1 is
1 times 3 times 7.
21. 32.
So that's your answer. Okay? Have you written that down? As an example? So we should maybe put the title fractions. Okay? With multiple operations. Right guys, we are now going to add. Yes, sir? No, because I'm in the middle of teaching something. Right. We're going to add these fractions. So what do we do to add fractions? Common denominator. So we're going to try and find the lowest common multiple of 2, 6 and 12. What would it be, Aaron?
12.
12. Good. Alright. So we're going to, what do I need to, well actually I've decided already, or Aaron has told us, that the common denominator can be 12, because it's the lowest common multiple, right? The lowest common multiple of 2, 6 and 12 is. So all I've got to do now is decide, what do I multiply half by to get 12? So that was times 6, so we've got 6 twelfths. This gets multiplied by 2, so that's 10 twelfths, and this one's still 7 twelfths. Yes? Alright, and yeah, so Micah says we could simplify, so we would do 6 with 12, which is 1 and 2. 10 and 12 would be 5 and 6. Is that right? No. Good. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, because you didn't know.
Exactly. Don't get mixed up between multiplying and adding. Okay? The whole, if we simplify, we just put it back to the original problem, don't we? We don't want that. But what do we do? So now the answer is going to be out of 12. What's it not out of?
29. 34.
Or any of those, but what is the one that people would say? 36. Yeah, they would say 36, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
But we don't do that. We now add 6, 10 and 17 and we get 23. Now, if I asked you to write that as a mixed number, you would tell me?
I tell you 1 and
1 with 11, 12, 7. Alright? Okay, so those two are relatively simple and easy. But let's have a look at G. So what's different about G? Haley. It's not a division, it's an add. It looks like division, but exactly, right? it is an addition and a multiplication. Okay, this one's division. They look very similar on the board. But, so Charlie's already shouted it out with his singing voice. We are going to need to take into consideration bed mass. So we do get lulled into this false sense of security. Oh, we're just going left to right. See, in this one, what do we do first? So we have to do the multiplication bit first. So can we simplify before we multiply? Yeah? What? 4 and 16 become 1 and 4. 3 and 9 become 1 and 3. So my new question is, 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 4 is... No. So now I bring this bit back in. Now, just to remind you, because I have done this before, you notice how when I write it out, I go down and I keep things lined up. Alright, now with addition, it doesn't matter if I then write plus 6 sevenths afterwards, because addition could be done in any order. But it's not always the case. If we had to subtract, we'd have to then subtract in the correct way. So I keep things lined up, right, exactly as they are, and then that's no problem. So how do we go about adding there, Charlie?
You simplify. I'm kidding.
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 That's a good way of getting out of it.
I'm kidding. Just joking.
Just joking. So what do? We have to find the lowest common multiple. What's the lowest common multiple of 84?
It's 84.
So this one we're going to multiply by, guys, we're going to multiply by 12. This one we're going to multiply by 7. Okay? So we end up with 6 times 12. Hence why I was getting to do that little. 6 times 12 is 72. 7 times 12 is 84. Plus, you can stop with their singing now. Just because I mentioned it once doesn't mean you can spend the entire lesson doing it. Then we've got 7 over 84. Now we can add those together, which is 79 divided by 84. Okay. Happy with that?
Yeah.
And then final. Right? So with this one, obviously, same idea. We've got division in there, and we've got multiplication. What do we do first?
You go next.
Cora? Why?
Because of the rule.
So not technically true, Seb?
So, because they're both in like equal on like the
Bed mass thing,
operation,
yeah.
the best thing. You do left to right
Yeah.
as the next deciding factor.
Yeah, so I don't want you to think bed mass is division multiplication, because if it was multiplication first, then division, we would do multiplication first. Alright? So when you've got addition, subtraction, you work left to right. When you've got multiplication, division, you work left to right. When you've got addition with multiplication, you do multiplication first. Okay? So we have to do this bit first. So how do we do 6 11ths max divided by 9 over 26?
You make
Make what?
question. Is it the reciprocal one?
Yes.
22.
So it'd be 6 11ths What? We don't, because when we divide, the first fraction is what we're dividing. The important thing is we multiply and then find the reciprocal of the second fraction.
Keep,
Okay?
change.
If you want to say keep, change, annoy Mr. Potts, and flip.
Change, switch.
What's interesting now, Abiot, while you're having your own conversation, what's interesting now is actually we could go, we could do this bit first, but actually, if I just bring that back in, can't I now just do all like the first question?
No.
Yes, I can. Yeah, because it's now just all multiplication.
Yeah.
So I can, in this case, the 22 and the 11 is 2 and 1, 9 and 3, 1 and 6 and 3, 2 and 1, 2 and 4, whichever one you want to do, 2 and that would be 1 and 2.
2 and 2.
2 with 2 is 1 and 1.
This is 1.
So the answer is
1. It's 1 times 1 times. It's 1 to the power of 3 over 1 to the power of 3.
Right. Stop complicating. It is short.
he does like to overcomplicate things, but he is correct in this case. It is true.
It's 1 times.
Right. Okay, so because we've now got just over 15 minutes, no, just under 15 minutes, you've got all your examples there. The questions that you are going to be doing are these ones. I can leave that on the board for you. So what we did was A, B, G, J. So you can work on the rest of them. Quickly, quietly, 10 minutes, no need to be singing or anything else, no need to get a book, it's on the board. Just sit down.